Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about, are they worth a second date? So someone asked me basically, how can you've been on a date with someone, but how can you vet them? How can you look back on the date and see, are they worth another date? Are they worth hanging out with more? Should I be still spending time with this person? So basically I've got a few questions for you, and these are things that you can ask yourself after you've been on a date to see if whether or not you actually want to go out on another date with them. Because sometimes, people just go out on dates because they're bored. They go out on second dates because they're bored, because they've got nothing better to do. And they're like, yeah, I'll just carry on dating this person because nothing else seems to be happening with my life right now. And then they end up in a relationship with them at some point because they're just, I think sometimes people get a bit sick of searching, right? And they're just like, you know what, this one will do. They're good looking enough. We kind of enjoy each other's company. This will do, right? But you don't want to have that kind of attitude. But anyway, so the questions that are really good to ask yourself after you've been on a date is, the first one is, did you actually enjoy their company, right? Did you have a laugh, essentially, right? Did you, could you see yourself spending a lot of time with this person? Or did you not enjoy it? Was it boring? If you were bored and you didn't enjoy their company, perhaps they had a weird sense of humor that you didn't really jive with, then, you've got to really consider that. So did you actually enjoy their company? That's a really good question to ask yourself, right? And be honest, right? Don't BS yourself just because you're sick of searching, or you're hoping that they're going to change or things like that, because you can rarely change people, right? So you've got to assume that the person that you're on a date with is always going to be this way, right? It's always good to assume that sort of thing. So, first question, did you actually enjoy their company, right? So the second question that you can ask yourself is, did they say or do something that was a bit of a red flag for you, right? So it could be perhaps they said that they've cheated on absolutely everybody they've ever dated. That's a red flag, especially if you're someone who's monogamous and doesn't want to be in a sort of relationship where there's unfaithfulness going on or too much polyamory, right? So, did they say or do something that was a red flag? And something that they done that could have been a red flag is perhaps their attitude to the waiter or the bar staff was a bit abrasive. Perhaps they were mean, to someone, or perhaps they were taking the mick out of someone who was a bit vulnerable. This is just an example, obviously, but basically the way to gauge this, to tell if something was a bit of a red flag, you're thinking back on the date, and was there any times that you felt uncomfortable, that you didn't really like a certain bit of behavior that they said something that you didn't quite like that made you feel a bit uncomfortable? That's how you can tell basically if a bit of a red flag flagged up, right? And if they may have just said something that was a bit of an insensitive joke, and perhaps you might be able to forgive that. Perhaps it was sort of funny. But if they really did something that made you feel uncomfortable, that you feel like, if this continues, if they keep on acting like this, or they keep on saying things like this, then I think there's going to be an issue here. So you got to be honest with yourself and think back, and was there anything that you didn't feel comfortable with, that you thought that was a little weird, that's something that they said that just didn't sound quite right. Okay, so that's another thing that you need to ask yourself. So the third thing to ask yourself is, do you have things in common, right? And when I say in common, I don't mean you grow up in the same city or the same town, or you both have a friend called Denise, right? I'm talking about, do you have hobbies in common? Do you like to do the same things? Do you have the same kind of lifestyles? Do you value the same things? Do you both want to have kids? Do you both want to get married? Do you both like to, go to bed early and wake up early so that you can go to the gym? Do you both like to do that kind of thing? Is there any hobbies that you both have that you enjoy? Perhaps, you both like video gaming, or perhaps you both like going hiking, or perhaps you both like traveling and you want to see different things and you have plans for those things, and perhaps both of you have traveled to different things that perhaps were the same or something like that. So it's all about that sort of thing, right? But you've got to have a mixture of those. You've got to have some of the values that are the same. You've got to have some of the lifestyle that is the same. And you've got to have some things that some hobbies and stuff that you like to do together, that you could do together that are similar. Not just, oh, we grew up in the same city and we both have, we both went to the same school, things like that. That is not things that you have. I mean, they're things that you have in common, but they're very surface level. They're not very deep, because if you are serious about someone and you're seriously trying to find someone to settle down with, then you got to realize that, hey, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with this person, right? A lot of time, right? Even if you have kids, when the kids are up and gone, you're going to be left alone together, right? And you got to be able to stand the person that you're with. And if you've got the same values, you like doing the same things, you enjoy each other's company, you want the same things in life, you like doing, if you like doing the same things and you have the same kind of values, you live the same sort of lifestyle, then you're going to be a lot more content and happy than with someone who is the complete opposite of what you are. So, for example, I found this in my own life as an example I use a lot because I think it's a good example. And that is, I was once with someone in my early 20s who liked to go out partying pretty much every week, maybe 2 times a week, sometimes even 3 times a week. And I wasn't that sort of person. I like to go to bed early. Like, I like to do things during the day, like going swimming, hiking, all that sort of thing. I like doing that sort of stuff, right? And it clashed because we didn't have the same kind of lifestyles. And we clashed. We argued about it, so it wasn't good. So that's just an example. You have to have the same kind of lifestyle and to enjoy the same sort of things. What time do they go to bed? What time do they get up? What type of activities do they do on the weekend? And if it's similar to you, great. Okay, so another question that you can ask yourself is, after you've been on a date, is, this is quite a simple one, but do you find them attractive? Right? Because obviously, it's a romantic relationship, and if you're not attracted to the person that you're with, then you don't find them hot, you don't find them sexy, whatever it may be. And if you don't find them endearing or cute or sweet or something like that, it doesn't have to be like such a hot, passionate thing. It could be like you just find them super cute, you just think they're really sweet looking or something like that, depending on what you personally prefer and what you're looking for. Because I know some people out there, they want someone who looks very sultry and brooding and mysterious. And there's other people that really like cutesy, sort of sweet looking people. So, were you physically attracted to them? Did you find them attractive? Because if you didn't find them attractive, there's kind of no point, because it's a romantic relationship, and if they kind of turn your stomach a little bit and you don't really want to be intimate with them, there's no point. There's literally no point. Otherwise you're just with a friend. Like, if you're not attracted to them, you don't find them physically attractive, but you have a lot in common, that's a good friend, basically. Not a good lover, someone that you can marry, be with for a long time, okay? So the last question that I think you should ask yourself after you've been on a date is, did they seem comfortable around you? So you might have felt comfortable around them, but did they seem comfortable around you, or was things a bit awkward? Now, of course, sometimes, people might be shy and they may just take some time to warm up to you, because that's what I found with my wife, actually. Like, she was very shy on the first date and perhaps even on the second date a little bit as well. But eventually she did, she became more extroverted as the time went on, because she just needed a little bit more time to get comfortable, basically. She did like me, she was attracted to me, she did want to be with me, but she was just shy and a bit awkward, and she had a little bit of a bad self-esteem. So that's what you got to realize, is that, am I dealing with a shy person, or is this person truly uncomfortable with me? So you got to ask yourself that as well. And also ask yourself, did I feel comfortable around them, or was I feeling a bit like, oh, this doesn't feel right, So those are some good questions that you can ask yourself when you've been on a date with someone, to see if they deserve a second date, right? To see if you want to go out on a second date with them. So I hope you found this video informative. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.